All right, man, we back. Goodfellas Sports TV. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure you share the video, share the channel. Um, Appreciate everybody that's gonna tune in, man. A lot of people want to see more collab shows or different opinions, and I kind of when things pick back up, I have a designated day for that. That may come after big fights. It may be Wednesday. It depends. So appreciate everybody that do tap in, share the videos. Best way to help out. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out on social media. All those links in the description. You want to chop it up? Got a business inquiry, sponsorship, video request? Reach out to me through social media. We can hash out a deal. Um, don't forget to check out the Brother Not update the description. Keen Sounds, Keen Sounds on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Um, he got a sponsorship deal. He from the D. Check out his music, his album. Um, got a debut album, so check it out. Show love, support a fellow brother. And if you don't like it, just stream that shit, man. And if you like it, share it, man. So we gotta uplift these entrepreneurs, man. So salute. 72 Nick Bone, Detroit, what's going on? Benjamin Foe, what's going on? Bernardo, what's going on? So y'all see what we talking about today. We'll talk about the real reason for Errol, ducking Terence. We're gonna talk about Devin Haney. If he wants to smoke or he capping a little bit, and also talk about the return of Adrien, the problem Broner. So if you want to jump on, man, with me, hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll send you an invite if everything look all right. So yeah. So, mm-hmm. So we'll see what happened, but yeah, I sent some invites out. So if you want to hop on, hit me up on social media, man. Janko, salute. I'm trying to get these invites out. So, but yeah, man. We seen earlier. If you didn't see the interview that Mike on Sports, he used to be with the Boxing Voice, and he did an interview with Bomac, and Bomac said it don't sound like the fight gonna happen. Terence Crawford said it don't sound like the fight gonna happen, and Bomac admitted the fight may not happen at 147. And I've been saying that. I said if that fight was gonna happen. I said this a few months ago. I said that the fight was gonna happen at 154. People said that was whack. I mean, that's just what we dealing with, bro. I mean, only way that fight gonna happen if Errol go out there and request a fight. That's just the way it's gonna be. Just bet what's going on, Mark Pinkerton, Columbus Mark. That's just what it is, man. And instead of Errol Spence fans calling a spade a spade, instead of them calling a spade and putting the pressure on him to take the fight, they're not gonna put the pressure on him because they know it's a good chance Errol Spence can lose. See, I don't have to go on the Errol Spence smear campaign with lies and false narratives. That's not what we do over here. They may do that on Negro Fight Fan TV. They might do that on Fanon International Errol Spence Ball Talk. They may do that on, other channels. They call it In and Out Burger Boxing Talk. They may do that over here. They might do that on Boxing Ego, aka Eric Gomez. They may do that over there. Over here, we just talking about the facts. All right. If he asked Al Heyman to make the fight and say, "Hey, I want to make the fight," he priced himself out. Word on the streets is that he want $20 million guaranteed to fight Terence Crawford. That's what he want from Bob Arum, right? That's cool. Bob Arum should be able to ask Disney for the money, but Angel Santos. Hey, let me know if you want to come on, bro. If you want to come on, Angel. If you got social media, bro, let me know. If you want to come on. And my whole thing about it is if I priced himself. Did he ask for 20? Did he ask Juan, what's going on? Did he ask for 20%? Did he ask for 20 million versus Shawn Porter? Did he ask for 20 million versus versus Keith Thurman? No. What's going on? Oh, is you saying something? Oh, yeah, I hear you. Cool. Make sure my shit set up. What's going on?
What's going on? Yeah, man. So what you was talking about, Spence and Crawford, huh?
Yeah, go ahead. You can say what you want to say.
I just got on, so I was trying to see what you were saying, then I'll go from there.
All right. Make sure you mute yourself. You ain't really got nothing in the background. So yeah, he
All
actually he was that's the word on the street. He asked for 20 million. Hold on real quick. 1 second. Okay, I see you. I see you. That was your comment. Yeah, he asked for 20 million and shit. Eddie, what's going on? He asked for that's what they saying. He asked for 20 million, and I guess Bob Arum ain't trying to pay it. Bob Arum ain't paying two Negroes that amount of money. So they said he asked for 20 to fight Terence, and that's what he's saying when he said Bob, sending over now Crawford asked for 20 million from Al Heyman. They said he was pricing himself out. And it's unfortunate that his fan base won't put the pressure. C Dub, you want to come on, fool? Yeah, you using StreamYard? Yeah, bro. I'm using StreamYard, Angel. Hey, I ain't got Google Hangouts no more, bro. I had to delete all that shit. My shit got hacked. Uh, hit me up on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram. The link's in the description, Angel, and I'll send you a link through Instagram. So, I mean, you can unmute yourself. You ain't had no background, Terence. You ain't had no.
right.
But but yeah, he just that's what they say. He pricing himself out. Crawford ain't the type of dude that's gonna sit out there and go clown him. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't gonna clown him. That just ain't his character to go out there and clown him. So that's what he want. If he wanted to make the fight happen, Al Heyman to make it happen. If you say Al make the fight happen, Al will make a fight between you and the devil. You know what I'm saying? Long as his 10 or 20% or 15% looking good, Al Heyman to make the fight. Everybody say, "Oh, Al Heyman stopping this fight from happening." No, his fighters don't want to fight nobody. You see, Deontay told him make the Tyson Fury fight. Shawn, salute. He said make the Tyson Fury fight, and he made the Fury. He gave Fury 50-50 twice. Now in the third fight, he getting 40 to Fury 60%. So if that fight can be made, why not Crawford and Spence, man? It make no sense, bro. That's a bigger fight. I don't care what nobody said. People can talk that international shit all they want to. People in the United States don't care shit about Tyson Fury. They always trying to take the white fighter from another country and try to present him and repackage him as a white American. No. You know what I'm saying? They're always
They
trying to
do.
repackage that shit, man. But if
Yeah.
more white people knew that history, then Tyson Fury ain't shit but one of them. A lot of white
Mm-hmm.
people over here got gypsy in them and Irish, whatever the fuck he is, and that's where they culture come. Their culture is from Europe. That's where
Mm-hmm.
racism started at. And people want to be in the comment section. Well, you black people always screaming racism. Yeah, it's been 300 fucking years of oppression. What you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
We always the one to shut up and not cry about the shit, man. Get the fuck up out of here. Get out of here, man. Yeah, what you got on it, bro?
Um, I think that Spence is making up like obstacles that he know that won't happen just to avoid Crawford. Um, he's not a high caliber boxer to be saying that, oh, I want 20 million to fight him, or you know what I'm saying? You got to work your way up. Just fight the man now. If you're that confident you can beat him, then get in there, do what you got to do, and then after you beat him, then I would say you can, try to negotiate. But he's been around Floyd too long, and Floyd was in his ear once upon a time, so he feel like he is like a mega star, which he's not. And now I know he's feeling even more stupid because Floyd said that Crawford was the best. So now that's I know he's taking a toll on that. He ain't said nothing about it, but I think that
He
with
can't.
him,
That's his boss.
yeah, I don't even. It's funny because man, me and my coach we talk about this all the time. And I'll be sending you videos on skill sets that me and my coach go over. There's a lot of things that I see in certain boxers that are supposed to be professionals and they're really not that good. They just they depend on athleticism, and the coaches don't have nothing to teach after 6 to 8 months. So what they do is what they say, oh, it's a mental game. It's really a physical game because 90% of their training is hitting the mitts, hitting the bag, and sparring hard. Every time they see something, they want to punch it because that's their pumpy mentality. And the coaches don't have anything to teach after 6 to 8 months. So what they do is they get somebody who's physically strong and he look like he can punch good. And they say, well, okay, we're getting there and sparring. And next thing you know, he's fighting. and then he don't have shit, and then later on down the line, he doesn't, even if he win a fight, in his mind he's like, oh well, I'm winning, so I'm doing something right. But what they don't do is they don't look at the mistakes they make while they were winning, and then they start losing, and then their career goes down, and they start blaming the coaches. But the fighters, they don't know how to learn, because one thing I learned is when you're learning, you're not fighting, and when you're fighting, you're not learning. So my coach did that to a guy that came to our gym. They wanted to spar hard. He said, "Go light, go light." They spar hard anyway. Don't listen. He said, "So what did y'all learn?" They didn't learn shit. All they did was beat the shit out of each other. Both of them injured, or one of them injured. Now you ain't got no sparring partner, and now you can't work, and you got to fight in 2 weeks. They can't make weight. They don't know how to learn. You tell them how to keep their hands up. They, oh, I can't fight with my hands up. I need my hands to be down. I
Cause
want to do it my way.
it's over with at that point because they never had nobody to teach them. So when you get, that's why they say you're supposed to take those fighters as kids or when they're younger, you still come out their mind.
Yeah.
That's why they say that when you get an older fighter, he don't listen to his mom, his daddy. He don't listen to nobody no more. So he unteachable, he uncoachable. So you got to teach him from the fundamental. And no more teachers no more. Like you was telling me, people don't even know how to breathe in boxing no more.
Nah, they don't. And I'm glad you brought that topic up. So, and people on that like, oh well, like I was trying to talk to a girl named Callie is Dead Game on Instagram. And what she did was, I was just, saying that 95% of boxers don't know how to breathe correctly. They don't keep their hands up. They don't know how to fight off the ropes. They don't have any inside game. They don't do balance checking. I was just, going over all the stuff that we work on that they don't work on. And because, she got Bow Wow liking a couple of her pictures, and, Crawford came in. He didn't say nothing, but he just, glanced in and glanced out. So in her mind, because she's a puppy. She's green. She has this puppy mentality. All she knows is I look good. I train at the Mayweather gym. You can't tell me shit. How many fights you got? Not knowing that I have a high skill set, and I have a coach that has 54 years experience, who was a Fort Lewis boxing champion, and trained with one of the best boxers back in the 70s. A guy named I forget his name. He always tell me about him. I'll try to think of his name, but he worked with this guy, and that's the guy that put him on the stress tone and performance breathing, learning how to, because when you say ish ish, that's stress in the body. You're not breathing correctly. So when you throw your punches, you want to turn your punches and snap them. That's how your punches should sound when you throwing a punch. Hey, hey, because I can throw a punch and then I'll throw it back. I'll throw a jab and snap it back. So I'll be like, so now you can hear it going exhale and inhale. And that's how you preserve energy. You can ask professionals right now, how many degrees do you turn your punches? They don't know. You can ask them about the hand positionings, on why when boxers throw their jab, their hands fall down, because they don't have the proper hand position 1, 2, and 3. When you're in hand position 1, your hands will never fall. But once you're in hand position 2, then in 3, then your hands will fall down. These are why certain pros make mistakes when they're slipping. They got their hands down because they want to look cute like Floyd, instead of training to slip with their hands up. So these are things that my coach taught me. And the guy, the name came back to me. His name was JC Cannon. Man, my coach said this dude was a beast, man. He said what he'll do is he'll throw a punch and make you slip, and as soon as the guy slip, he'll hit him under the armpit. I'm telling my coaches, man, dude. One day I'm gonna try to shoot you some more, private footage, because I know you ain't gonna go blast it out in the world. But these fighters, man, they don't know nothing. Errol Spence, like I said,
You tell them
I
what your
asked
coach,
people.
your coach is more than boxing too.
Well, he's boxing, martial arts, kung fu, and self defense and weapons trainer. This guy's a marksman in both hands, southpaw and orthodox, and he's good at using weapons. We work on stuff outside of me putting it online, like how to see a knife coming and how to block and defend and get out the way and get to the knife hand. Because once you get to the hand with the knife, or you get to the hand with the opposite hand that doesn't have the knife in it, he's not going to do nothing with that hand, because it only take a split second to get it out. But these people, they what they do is they puppies, they millenniums. They say, oh, that won't work. You know, guys make fun of me. They come on, oh, that's not boxing. That won't work. But what I tell them is it won't work for you, because you don't know how to make it work, because you don't know how to learn. You already got in the back of your mind, you know everything. There was a cat that came to our gym before the virus came, and he does JKD, which is Jeet Kune Do, the system that Bruce Lee did, but he doesn't know shit about it. But he's supposedly good. His name's Roka. So he comes in the gym. My coach trying to show him some techniques, and instead of learning and being a legendary student, what he's doing is he got his hands up and he's trying to block and defend everything. And then you put him in the gloves and put him in there and have him spar and get his ass whooped. And my coach pulled him to the side and said, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. You know what the problem with you is? You think you know everything. You don't know shit about boxing. Because if you did, you wouldn't be off balance. You wouldn't be out of breath in the first round. You don't snap your punches. You don't listen. You don't know how to follow directions. And the guy got upset and told his coach, and was like, oh, he was bullying me. And he said he didn't want to come back. And my coach said, I don't need you to come back. You have nothing that you can't learn. And that's the problem with these pros. They get some followers, some views, they make a lot of money, and they got all these people in the media telling them this and that, and they feel like, oh, well, who is this guy? He got 1,000 followers. Who is he for? He don't know shit. And the best fighters and the best coaches are the ones that's not on TV.
Yeah,
Those are the
true.
best people. They got the most knowledge, dude. Dude, I'm gonna tell you this real quick, and I'm gonna let you talk. Virgil Hunter, this dude don't know shit. I know his whole blueprint. My coach know him and Andre Ward. This dude don't know nothing, dude. And everybody running to him. You got Cecilia Brackens, got Abel Sanchez teaching her how to box. Did you not just see Triple G fire him because he fucked up his career? He couldn't
Terry
teach him
Norris
how to.
too.
You said who?
Terry Norris.
Oh, okay. I gotta look him up. I don't think I know
Yeah,
too much
yeah,
about him.
he was a Dallas fighter back in the what? He beat up Sugar Ray and Sugar Ray old Leonard in like late '90s. Yeah,
Oh, okay. And Abel
he was Dallas.
Sanchez was his trainer?
Yep, at the time he got who fucked Julian Jackson fucked him up. Look up that fight.
Okay, I heard of him. Okay.
He fucked him up. Yeah, but yeah, he fucked up Matt Gassier. But Virgil Hunter though is not the primary guy in that corner though. People don't know that it's the old motherfucker. What's the old dude
Yeah.
name behind him? You know what I'm talking about? The older
I,
guy. He the one that's behind Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter, I don't want to say he don't know nothing because I don't know him personally. I know people that got disdain for him, but it's the older guy behind. Same thing with John David Jackson. It's Don Turner's behind him. You know, he's the
mm,
real teacher. You know, like you said, the guys that's not on TV, the older dudes.
those are the
It ain't a lot of,
ones.
it's not a lot of teachers in boxing no more. You can just go back and watch an old Hagler, Leonard's fight, any of the older fights, man. You can hear them breathing a lot different. And you know, a lot of these dudes can go 15 a day, not because genetically they incapable of going 15 rounds. It's just that ain't no teachers no more. You can see
It
that now.
ain't none.
You can see that only probably sport that still got really good teachers that I can think of. And I don't really know much about hockey and soccer, but I can say baseball is probably the ones that still got the most teachers left. Because basketball, they don't got no good teachers left.
Nah.
Neither do football. So when you look at a ball game, I see Ricky, I see you. So when you look at it, you know, Errol's Terence Crawford seemed to be schooled well. You know, he got 3 trainers. So how can you really go? How can you really go wrong? But you know, Errol Spence, he don't have a good coach. And I'm not gonna mention
Nah.
no
He's
names about it.
self-taught. He's he went live not too long ago, some weeks back, and he even said that he don't have a trainer right now. He teaching himself. And he's gonna have a short career because all he has is power and size, and he walks forward and he's a tip for tap puncher. He
He don't
waits.
get on his toes.
Yeah.
You
He
see
can't fight
the
off the
difference. If you just look at the difference between Fury and Fury and Wilder. Fury on his toes, catching the rhythm, you know, keeping the blood and the
yeah.
legs pumping. Wilder just flat foot even before. You know, in all his fights, he flat footed. He don't know how to get on his toes or that and that nature. And that same thing with Errol Spence. He a flat footed fighter and all that.
So okay, so now that you brought that up, we're gonna talk about balance checking. So when him being on his toes, see, these are moves. This is stuff that I specialize in through my coach. And I got my boy Devontae and my other partner Jamon. but mainly, primarily Devontae, I'm blessed to have him because I can work with him. And see, we do things different. I'm not going to get in there in the bell ring and I'm trying to beat the shit out of him or he's trying to kill me. And then I'm going to go post it on Instagram and get views and rates and rate this knockout. And I don't learn shit. What I do is we might throw like combination. I might say, Devontae, I'm finna throw a jab. Or Devontae might be like, Terence, I'm finna throw a left hook to the body. Or the jab, slip it. And then, okay, I'll slip it. And then I'll tell him, okay, throw that jab 10 more times the same way. And then I get used to seeing that jab coming that way. So I look for these things when it's time to fight in a professional fight. And when I see somebody who's throwing that same punch, I already trained for it, so I know how to get around it. I know that he has to have his right hand to throw his left hand, his left hand to throw his right hand. I also know that wherever his feet is not at, he's off balance. This is what balance checking is about. Checking the hips, checking the neck, checking the shoulder line, the ankles, the hips. I know if I throw a left hook and he slip it and he turns around, I can touch his elbow and stop him from turning around. And people be like, oh, you can't do that in boxing. Well, you can do it in boxing. It's just about hiding it. And I know it worked because I'm going to tell you a fighter right now that my coach trained. His name is Mike Ruiz. He's I think he fought at 126 or 130, a little Latina Guatemalan cat. Man, they even said it on a commentator. They was like, oh, shout out to the novice pooler, man. He got his student doing martial arts, and the whole time this dude fought this dude, he was checking his balance, getting in close, hitting him to the body. Whenever he tried to throw a punch, he would pocket. Because, I told you I do the Wing Chun and Shotokan techniques. So we do Bong Sao, Pak Sao. I might throw a Shotokan karate lunge punch, a reverse punch. He might throw an uppercut, I'll do a down block. Pop! Right there, and then shoot a reverse punch to the sternum. And they'd be like, I had dudes come up to me like, dude, what was that punch you threw? But I can't tell them because they don't understand it. And then if I show them, they're trying to do it against me. So what I learned from my coach is beat the shit out of them with it first, then teach it to them. Because if you show it to them, then they're already trying to block and look for that move, and then it won't come out the way you want it to. So when we go over balance checking and performance breathing, inside game, checking the center line, listening to see if he's breathing, and then also looking at when he's going to throw his punch, because a lot of these guys throw wide shots. And I know that karate has the hardest form of punches because these guys, they shoot from the hip. So instead of going like a boxer, they bow. And the power is just so fast you can't see the punch because the lunge punch is straight. So it's and then by the time they try to block, he already got hit, and then you blast it in because the karate guys they blast in quick. It's called point sparring. What they do is they give you 10 seconds to hit each other, and you have the ki. And once you touch the guy, pop, and then they're stopping. You have to reset and go again, and that's how you get that point sparring speed. And then you can generate and mix these things in boxing to get away with it. But see, no one understands it. They look at it like, oh, that won't work. That's that MMA bullshit. I can get around that. There's a guy telling me, oh, I can get around your coach. But because he's green and don't know shit, he got his little 5-0 wins and some guys that he probably some ducks he beat up, and he thinking about getting around it. Fuck getting around it. Even if I can't beat somebody up, if they have knowledge, I want to get that knowledge. I'm not trying to beat this guy up. I want to retain knowledge so I can be more better and have a higher skill set. And that's why Lomachenko is, he does some of the things we do, but he's kind of green too because he's putting it together. He doesn't have a coach that can say, hey, when you throw your right cross, why don't you step up and then throw a back fist? That back fist that you seen Tyson Fury do you remember when he did that with Fury?
You had that with Larry Holmes threw it. Mike Tyson used the back jab. There's a few fighters back in the day, and they gloves flop with it too though. A lot of motherfuckers don't know that.
Yeah, but see, what they do is they doing it incorrect. And Tyson Fury got that from me because a lot of these guys, what they do is they watch guys that don't have a lot of views, and they'll go and they'll pick up on it, and they won't like or comment. And then because they have fame and views of followers, people will think that they made it up first. But it's actually called the back fist. And what you do is you shoot it from the chest line. You might want to act like you slipping over a little bit, and then you pop it. Boom! You got two of them. You got one that goes straight to the temple, and then the next one goes straight in the center of the line, right in the middle of the forehead where the nose is at. Those are the two. And then, because I do back fists, I do ridge hands, which is a reverse hook. Instead of me throwing the straight hook coming in, I'm using the right in here in the middle of my thumb and my index finger, and I'm hitting it with them. Boom! They can't see it because we got the 1800 punch, we got the reverse punch, the lunge punch, and then we have also the flicking jab. Oh, you ever heard of the hooking jab?
No.
So it's like you throwing a hook, but it's a jab. See, these punches, dude. I'm gonna send you a picture when we get off of here. I got my punches written down. I got angles on how to shoot them and when to throw them. That's the science and the theory, and I got that from my coach. And that's what these guys they don't have. I'm trying to tell you, they do not have it, man. I like
You want to tell them, or you want to keep it confidential who your coach used to train, the most famous fighter people might know, or you want to keep that on the low?
Well, he trained Luisito Espinosa, which is a icon. Dude, I got pictures of him. Pacquiao used to have posters of Luisito Espinosa on his wall because he was an icon. And then I also know his manager, Manny Rivera. He comes down to our gym because we have a private gym. So people are like, oh, where your gym at? I try to look it up. Well, it's a private gym, and we real select on who we have come in because we doing this basically a dojo. So we're doing other techniques outside of boxing that we're perfecting, and then we're putting it in and we're hiding it so people can't see what it is. They'll be like, oh, what was that? But they won't know. So he trained Luisito, James Bugs, who died. I'm gonna tell you how he died. And this guy was a fanatic, phenomenal boxer. My coach got these techniques that he does. It's called a vertical punch, and it comes from Wing Chun. And I throw it in my punches too. What happened was, because my coach, he's done when we do inside game, we punch under the armpit, we hit the arms, the elbow, because we know it's 377 pressure points. So what he does is he also hits you in the heart. The guy, James Bugs, showed another guy technique, which was a bad idea. And the guy didn't know what he was doing, and he tried to shoot the punch, and he hit James Bugs in the heart, and he had a heart attack, and he passed away. So, and he was. Oh, I'm listening.
No, I said, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, he passed away. There's another guy named Ian Johnson on Martha Salazar. You may have heard of her. That same Latina chick that fought the girl that knocked her wig off not too long ago. Remember her?
Andreas Jimenez.
Yeah, Andreas Jimenez. That same girl that fought her, the Latina chick that they saying is a guy. Martha Salazar.
Yeah, that's her. Andrew, that's her name. The Latino guy. Latino girl guy. Her name is Andrea Jimenez. The girl she knocked her wig off was Francois Cruz.
Oh yeah, Francois Cruz.
Something Desir Cruz. I don't know. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, she fought her, and then my coach trained Jake Shields. Who else? Ian. Another guy named Mark Tabuso, which is he's a Muay Thai fighter, but he's super slick, got fast hands, and he's tricky like me too. And another guy named Tong, which was my Muay Thai instructor, but he's Laos. My coach had him for 15 years, and that was who I was with. And then I went to my coach. I've been with him for the past almost 5 years. And yeah, man, if you ever heard of Beautiful Brawlers out here in the Bay Area, I don't know if you don't live out here, huh?
No.
Okay, well they have those girls out here, and that's Martha Salazar and a few other girls. I forgot their names, but he trained them too. So mostly all these guys that are trained, all these coaches, dude, I'm gonna tell you what type of coach my coach is. He's an expert level. So what he does is when you have other coaches that coaches, he goes in and coaches them coaches and teach them how to coach. Because you have a trainer, you have a coach. So what he does is he does seminars. And he tells them like, okay, your boxer needs to be in perpendicular. He needs to be in hand position 1. He needs to snap his jab 180 degree, 190 degree, and bring it back. And he needs to keep his chin down, elbows tucked.
They need more seminars like that, bro. They need more seminars like that because they don't. There's a lot of guys behind the scene that's better coaches. Shout out to my boy Eric Bradley from Master Boxing as well too. He's a real good coach too. Dr.
Oh
Blick was
man, I think I see him. He
cool.
mastermind guy on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, he good brother,
Okay,
bro.
yeah, he's pretty dope. Yeah, I see him.
He always behind
Younger
us.
guy.
Yeah, he got the young guys. He always got the younger guys. Roy Jones like that too. Roy Jones got a lot of younger guys in this table, bro. Like guys you never heard of. Roy Jones be
Yeah,
taking the Southern brothers though. You're a real good dude,
yeah.
man. But Dr. Blick, what's going on, bro?
No, I was just listening to what you guys were saying
You on
about.
lockdown, bro?
Yeah, we've been on lockdown for like almost 2 weeks.
You your girl in the house, bro?
Nah, just me and my family.
Oh, so you ain't getting none then, huh?
Of course not.
You ain't getting none then, man. But yeah,
it's hard time.
you go ahead.
No,
Oh,
I was just saying. No, I was just saying I was just listening to you guys now, but you can continue, man.
I invited Angel on, man. I don't know what he's
oh
doing.
yeah, he can come in. I don't mind.
Yeah, I
we talking.
what the fuck Angel doing, bro? Angel, fuck you doing, bro? Hurry up. Battle Rifle, you want to jump on, bro? Battle Rifle, wait till the last 5 minutes you want to jump on.
They can jump on.
Come on, Battle Rifle, bring your Kovalev loving ass on.
Yeah, and Pacquiao loving us.
Bro, yeah, I'm going on in Miami, man. I'm fuck battle rifle up, bro. So now I respect Kovalev as a fighter, but yeah, man, I'm talking about Errol, man. Somebody just hit me on Facebook. Man, Errol ain't ducking, man. Just come to y'all senses, bro. It's the fact. Tell him he done Pacquiao too, though. See, he does appreciate it. He said Roy Jones was the top. He has top welterweight prospects. No law. He got a lot of dudes, bro. A lot of dudes. He got a lot of young dudes, bro. But he does Pacquiao too, so there's no telling, man. I don't know. You see your boy Coogan Cash's interview with Terence, Dr. Blick?
No, I haven't seen that. I saw the Amir Khan one because Amir Khan been doing a lot of interviews everywhere. I've seen the Eddie Hearn ones as well.
What did Amir Khan say? What he said about
AJ
retiring?
said he hasn't been training.
Who said who?
AJ said he hasn't started training camp. He hasn't trained at all.
No point. This shit. They talking about boxing might. Peter Fury said boxing might not start back till September.
So
and it's gonna start off in the studio too. ESPN planning a June return in studio. I think it's June. Tank pose a fight in July.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No, Tank shit.
You said what?
Tank definitely gonna need to move up after this, man.
Who?
Tank. You think Tank's gonna be able to make 130 after this?
I'm gonna see an interview with him. He had an interview, World Record thing with him saying what he doing. He said he eating salads, he got a gym at home, and he playing Madden. That's what he doing.
Y'all can still hear me?
Yeah,
you can hear it twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can back out. You might be muted, or you froze on the other one. I can kick that one out. Hold on, give me a minute. Yeah, I can kick that one out. Hold on.
But Errol might be forced to fight somebody because he can't just fight anybody because no one's gonna be interested.
Man, Errol, I don't like that dude.
No, he just be like I said before. He talk too much, bro. At least if Terence was truly ducking, you really wouldn't even know it because he don't do all that talking. Errol Spence talk too much, bro. If he never,
Leo Santa Cruz don't say nothing, man.
No, that's why he get away with it. Man, Errol Spence opened the floodgates that night when they was in motherfucking where they was at they was at the Danny Garcia and Shawn fight after the fight, and he did that. He opened his mouth up after that. He did it to himself.
It's because they gas him up too much.
Yep. He opened his own mouth.
Now, what's his name talking too much? Ryan Garcia. He's been talking the most.
Ain't nothing gonna happen to him.
He just sloppy speed. That's what I call him.
He don't have no technique, bro.
Let me tell you the reason why he's popular. Yeah, it's not just because of chicks. It's because his hand speed makes casual boxing fans think he's amazing, better than he actually is. Because if you see someone moving that fast on the pads and all that stuff, any person that doesn't really follow boxing is gonna think he's amazing. That's why
he don't fight nothing like he trained, because how you train is how you fight. He don't do none of that stuff. And Gary Russell faster than him. So
the problem with that is though he's still learning with Canelo coach. He ain't gonna pick up on that. He may never pick up on that movement. He better hope when by the time fire reaches his ass, he learn how to move his body.
He's gonna get knocked out, man.
Oscar really should be training that nigga, dog. He remind you of Oscar just without the skill.
Yeah, CJ, he gonna get knocked out, man.
Anybody can see that ass whooping coming. I ain't hating on him or nothing. I just see the ass whooping coming. Same thing with Errol Spence. How he living outside the ring. It's his whole thing. That nigga is not trying. I promise you, bro. He is not trying to fight Terence Crawford, bro. Crawford, somebody that stay in shape. He can punch. Now, if Crawford couldn't punch, and Crawford was an orthodox fighter, I think he may fight him then. I think with him switching and being proficient in switching and his power, I think that was kind of scaring him away. You know, usually most guys, they fear, you know, usually the southpaw is the guy people don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? The orthodox fighter, you know, people want to fight the orthodox fighter. It's nothing special about it. A lot of guys struggle with southpaws. You see Jamal, he struggled with every southpaw he fought. Korobov, Trout, you know, trying to fight Demetrius. So you got to remember, a lot of these fighters, it ain't how good of a fighter you is. Like my man just said, Terence, it ain't no good fighter, how good a fighter you is. A lot of these dudes is being match made to look good, bro.
Jared does well against southpaws.
Huh?
Yeah, Jared does good against southpaws.
Who?
Amir Khan.
Hey, that blood beat his ass. I ain't see that ass whooping coming like that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. So a lot of these guys, they don't know how to fight southpaw. What they do is they stand in the southpaw position and they throw punches. So it looks like they can do a southpaw, but they don't master the southpaw because you have to be a marksman at that. Fighting southpaw is more than just athleticism. It's a skill set. It's a blueprint. It's the basics. It's a personality. It's more of an internal thing that comes with fighting southpaw. But these guys, and other people, you can't tell them that because, like I said, they'll say, "Oh, well, he's winning," or he used that style against the other fighter and he beat him with it. So what are you talking about? They're casual. They don't see what I see. So they just see a guy standing in southpaw. He's throwing punches. He's looking good and he's winning.
Nobody.
So
hurts nobody.
CJ. Or it could be like Lennox Lewis. I never fight southpaw in your whole entire career.
That's heavyweight though. You don't see how many left-handed heavyweights that you've seen. That's in the all-time great. That's a good question. How many heavyweights? Yes. You know, Ortiz ain't no Ortiz ain't no elite heavyweight to me. But I mean, how many you seen? I really can't think of none.
That is true. You don't really see a lot.
Briscoes was right-handed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fury right-handed. Fury switched to southpaw every now and again, but he ain't no southpaw.
Wilder Fury ain't comfortable defending us as southpaw.
Yes, so you ain't got a lot of southpaws, you know, that I can think of. I know some, you know.
Yo, I go one. Usyk.
Usyk is southpaw. Yeah, he is. He ain't even a heavyweight yet.
What do you mean? He fought my man Chad Withers.
Man, when he fight Derek Chisora, I asked you the questions at the end. What up, King? So I see what you think about.
I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if Derek Chisora knocks out Usyk. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be surprised.
If Chisora did, I'll laugh, bro. I like Usyk though. I ain't got shit against him.
No, I like Usyk. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Chisora knocks him out.
Because he's a swarmer. You know what I'm saying? He'll take some to get some. He lost me. If Usyk don't hit him with respectable power, Chizora's just gonna keep coming forward. He lost me. Remember that with David Hay? He lost me.
Yeah.
That shit was wild, bro. David Hay. Did he hit him with a glass bottle or something?
Something like that. I remember when Chisora tried to fight David Hay I can't remember what it was. It was at an event, and David Hay beat the shit out of Chisora.
He hit him like a glass bottle or some shit, bro.
Yeah, David Hay beat his ass.
He hit him with a glass bottle, bro. What up, Dr. Lick? What up, Battle Rifle?
Devin Hay.
I'm back. Yeah.
David Hay should have stayed at cruiserweight though.
So what?
You should have stayed at cruiserweight though.
I mean, you gotta take a chance. Who become a Hall of Famer just based off a cruiserweight?
That's true.
You gotta
But
take.
CJ, from what I've heard, yeah, David Hay was literally like he was forcing himself to be a heavyweight. He had like an obsession since he was a kid to be a heavyweight champion. So
Yeah,
he would put like weights in his clothes and all that stuff to be heavier.
my toe hurt. Remember that shit? The toe excuse. Vladimir, he was running for Vladimir Klitschko. I was hyped for that fight. Like toe hurt.
I think they were saying Andre Berto was talking about fighting Connor or something. I seen on that.
You know, he got a mixed martial arts background. All his family members, his father passed before. What was it, like last year? Yeah, all his family is combat fighters. I think he like the only true boxer. So he probably he may depend on it. He may get what he might be one of the few boxers that can get with Conor McGregor. You probably looking at
what beat his ass.
You know, I'm saying he would beat his ass, but shit, he got the background. So do
it'll be different because we know if it's a boxing match, Conor gonna get destroyed. But and I know this because I'm a martial artist before anything, so I know that with a boxer, they're not gonna know how to fight like a guy that has good, because Conor he's flashy and he's good in UFC, but he's not really the pinnacle of what I'm talking about, because you got Thai fighters that are like flashy and slick and evasive, like Sanchai and Luricilla. These guys are super they're out of this world. You got karate and taekwondo guys that can kick faster than you can punch. So what happens is when Andre Berto blasts in with boxing combinations, he might use a jab or whatever he wants to throw and set up his combinations. The Thai fighters use a kick which is called a teep, which is their jab, but it's with the leg. So what it does is it's a long range kick and it stops the person from coming in. They kick to the sternum. So, or what they'll do is they'll attack that lead leg. So after like 2 or 3 kicks, Berto's done for, because he'll take a jab away off of kicking that leg. So what he'd have to do is he'd have to get some type of insight in a real martial arts instructor that's going to sit down. It's going to take him some time to because boxers they're masters at their hands.
I think he know how to handle the kicks. And I think or how to wrestle. He got a mix. He got a mixed martial arts background.
I know he got a background, but it's different when you've been brought up and like he's been doing boxing all this time. He hasn't been moving around, and kicks are not easy. I'm trying to tell you, dude. Those because I specialize in kicks. Kicks are, dude, those are some of the hardest things to stop, because even when you block them, you still feel them, and your legs are stronger than your arms. And I know guys like Taekwondo is the opposite of boxing. They snap their kicks. They do double, triple kick combinations.
I mean, but Conor McGregor is not like a Khan did or anything. He doesn't throw that many leg kicks.
No, he doesn't. What he does is he throws single leg, but he will do them against somebody who he knows that just use their hands. Then he'll try to throw those kicks because he know that Andre Berto's not used to seeing them. So if you got a guy that's throwing a front snap kick, side kick, hook kick, or he might throw a 360 spin, a back spin kick, Andre Berto is going to be trying to see where he can land and block, but he won't be able to. He's not used to seeing it. See, that's how you beat guys. If in order to beat a guy that does jiu-jitsu, you have to know how the jiu-jitsu works, how he's going to try to shoot for a single leg, double leg takedown. He's going to try to tussle you, get you in side control, get you in a Gamora lead or an arm bar, and then try to make you submit. You can't just bounce in there with a little bit of, like Clarissa Shields. That's the mistake she's making. She's thinking she can just get in there and it's not going to go her way. Yeah, she got the hands down packed, but when you talking about martial arts, it takes years and years to perfect that, because kicking is just different, man. When you see some of these guys that can kick, their flexibility is off the chart and they can just blast through. It's crazy, man.
And this nigga broke his leg on his leg. Yeah, you ain't lying. Kicking different.
Yeah, because you got guys checking. Look, Anderson Silva.
Yeah, Jason say Jorge Masvidal and Usman need to happen in a UFC fight would be dope. I heard that was a fake news rumor that was news.
Jorge Masvidal is trash. He trash, and El Kukui is trash. Tony Ferguson, both of them they suck.
I heard that fight is a go. I heard they doing. I don't know how true that was again. Connor and Khabib. They said that fight happening. It's back on and something that Dana White made a deal with Vladimir Putin. That could have been fake news too. So yeah, Tony Ferguson, didn't he beat his bitch ass?
You said the Tony Ferguson dude who?
He beat his girl ass. Wasn't that him?
I'm not too sure. I know. I don't know if I didn't hear him. He probably did.
That goes back in the beginning of combat sports history though. Travis, what's going on? He said Masvidal put Usman to sleep. Somebody told me the other way around. Usman beat his ass.
No, he won't. Because Masvidal, I'm gonna tell you what type of fighter he is. He's an athleticism guy who just uses brute force and try to just beat the shit out of you. He doesn't think. He's not a thinker. Kamaru Usman is not that good as far as with his hands, but he has enough striking knowledge to land those punches. That's why he beat up Colby Covington, which is he's a racist. He beat the shit out of him.
Didn't he beat up Tyron Woodley too?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Now I went to see that fight, and I'm gonna tell you why he beat up Tyron Woodley. Number one mistake he made: he didn't go forward, and he didn't listen to what his coach told him. He went in underestimating Kamaru Usman, and that's why he lost. But if you look when he fought, because he always fight bigger guys, Stephen Thompson. He fought another guy that was tall. He worked that boy in the first round. Same cat, I forgot his name. He got a accent. He act like Conor. He just a bigger version of Conor. Man, he got out there and got his ass with Tyron Woodley. Mom, a grandmother had to come hug him in the back after he took that ass with him because it was a beat down.
Damn.
Yeah, see these guys, they're not. Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Somebody made a comment. He said, Usman going to wrestle his head off. See, man, I have to eat this guy up. Jorge has skill, slipping, striking, MMA fighter strength. Usman is wrestling, and Jorge is striker.
He don't know what he's talking about because he doesn't have skill. Remember when I was talking about internal knowledge? A lot of these MMA guys, they see what I do is I do traditional martial arts. So if I'm doing Shotokan karate, I'm perfecting that. This is why you get MMA fighters going to Tiger Muay Thai and they sparring guys and just strictly stand up and they're getting beat up. But you look at them fight other MMA fighters and they whooping their ass. But if you take Jorge Masvidal out the UFC and do a stand-up match with no wrestling, and he put him against Sanchez Bullcow, they're going to murder him because he's not seasoned to check those kicks. MMA fighters don't even check kicks. You see them when they get blasted up, they're gonna take that kick and try to get you.
Like that video you showed me with Clarissa where she she was working with an old boy. She wants Wood, what's going on? Let me know if you want to come on, Wood. I'll shoot you an email. But yeah, it is what it is. He said Masvidal is a real street fighter turned professional. He was on Kimbo. Yeah. I forgot about that shit. Yeah,
and Kimbo did the same thing, and look what happened to him.
He's all hands. He was all hands.
Yeah. And Kimbo didn't even master his hands like a boxer did. He would have had a better career if he would have had a real good boxing coach. He would have been whooping all those guys up better than what he did. But what I'm getting at is those guys, MMA, what they do is they just learn MMA. They get some bullshit ass Muay Thai coach, a striking coach you got a kickboxing coach that's teaching boxing. I don't know how the fuck he's doing that. Then you get guys in there who don't even know how to wrestle, and they just showing them little bits and pieces of things, and then they're looking for a move to win. And they don't get the internal knowledge and the spiritual aspect, and they don't understand the kicking knowledge. They don't understand that if this guy's in front of me, I can throw a front snap kick or a teep. Or if he's coming in quick, I can blast a side kick and he won't be able to stop it. They're not at master levels like that right now.
Well, it's still an early league though too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Michael J. White said it's different. He said it's different going in the octagon and really doing that shit in the street.
Now,
Yeah, it's way
Michael J.
different.
White.
In the street, it's way different. Like you can do, it's no rules. So somebody could real deal be like, I could beat you in a street fight and be like, all right, let's go hands up, and then hit you in the back of the head and do fist hooks and hit you in the crotch area. That's not allowed in UFC.
Yeah, it's limited.
Somebody,
Floyd, in your limited sports, Floyd, you know, it's limited. I come to your sport, Floyd, and I just use my hands. It's limited, Floyd. Come to the MMA, Floyd. Come on in, Floyd.
hey, funny,
I'm trying
you want to
to.
hear
My
something funny,
coach trying to
TJ?
get in. I'm trying to get him on here too, so he can break down some more knowledge. He said he's trying to get on.
You still in the link?
Yeah, I sent him the link you sent me.
Yeah, I don't see him. I don't know. Maybe he having some problems.
He said he pushed a white button or something.
I never came in. Anybody came in? Maybe that's what happened with Angel. We could allow 2 more people.
Hey,
Okay.
TJ, you want to hear something funny? I was, you remember like when the Floyd versus Conor fight was happening, and the fight wasn't signed yet. So I was like looking at the comments. It was like one of the fights where Floyd was like, "Yeah, the fight already gonna happen. We just gotta handle some things first." And then it is due to comments he had typed on the video saying, "In a boxing match, it's Floyd all day, but in the street, Conor would kill Floyd." And then the dude he commented right below this, then he said, how do you know that? He said, nah, Floyd will always be Conor in the street fight. You want to know why? Because he's gonna bring a hatchet or a gun.
Security with his ass. But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. He's gonna
here we go. Got 2 people listening. Let's see who in here. My bad. I'm gonna let your coach on. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. What's up, coach?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
How you doing, man? Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh yeah,
Good,
this my coach. This is the legendary Mr. Pooler. This man is the best coach.
Oh, he done beeped out. He done went in, went out. Go ahead. You still hear us, D?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, he done went in. He gonna have to come back in.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
froze.
It was nice hearing from you guys, man.
Good, man. He tell us a lot about. He tell me a lot about you, man.
Well, yeah, I've been doing it for a little while now.
How long? How was it for a while?
Well, I started boxing and learning as a kid in 1967, and I started teaching mostly martial arts during the early 70s, and boxed around like 74 all the way down to my last fight was 2001, right after 9/11.
That's good. You in the Bay Area, right?
Yes, I live in Gilroy, not necessarily Oakland. I used to live in Oakland.
Cool. I'm about to get him right back on. Here we go. Here you go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Go. You can ask him the questions, T, and I'll let you rock out.
Oh no, if y'all want to ask questions about who y'all think will win, he can break it down from expert level. Much more than I can.
I mean, I don't know if Terence explained it because I came in late, but I was about to ask, like, how did you get started in boxing, or what made you want to be a trainer, or did you get into it by accident?
No. I was raised up in Berkeley, probably the rougher part of Berkeley, into West Oakland during the Black Panther movement. So during that time, it was a little bit different. Of course, a lot of fights, not quite like it is today, where, it's a lot of killings and, gun shooting. But I got started, kind of was one of those situations where, we changed to another school down in West Oakland, and we just got into a lot of fights. And I met this one instructor, and he just took me in. He just started teaching me some self-defense, and I just fell in love with it. And the whole time I said I always wanted to teach it. So about the time I became the age of 12, I was a young little instructor. I had just getting my first level brown, and I had already had like 5 years experience.
So what do you feel that's lacking as far as boxing today, as far as from the teacher aspect?
Well, I think the younger fighters they show a lot of talent, right? They tend to take more risk than back in when I was boxing. Everything was basically the basis of what the coach taught you. If you don't listen to the coach, then you're not allowed to train at all. So when they tell you to throw a hook a certain way, you throw the hook. You pivot off the hook. Keep your hands up. And today's fighters, they tend to, I guess what's going on is they have a whole lot of mixed systems of fighting combined. So it used to be a time where you can go to a boxing gym, and that's a boxing gym. Now, it's slowly converted to you got a taekwondo gym with a boxing gym. Then you have MMA that's kind of stuck with 3 other different systems of martial arts. So now these days, everything that got so crossed that people are not utilizing the actual fundamentals of boxing. I don't know if you would agree with that or not, but people are throwing hooks that are not basically a boxing hook. When the first time I came into boxing in the 70s, I threw what they call a vertical hook. And it's common today because most fighters and practitioners, they allow that hook, they'll allow it. And so when I started boxing, we everything was really basic. Like, say, for instance, you know a little bit about boxing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you was to teach boxing and you was going to teach me how to throw a hook, how many degrees do you turn the hook over? Or how many degrees do you throw your jab hand over? So you can throw a jab, but how many degrees would you turn it over?
What was it, 90? Go ahead, battle rifle.
No, Terence, don't say anything. Yeah.
I'll just okay. I did little boxing, but he didn't teach me degrees. He just said throw it palm down.
Yes.
But of course, I know there's a difference between pros and amateurs. They throw it palm up.
Yes.
Instead of palm down.
Yes.
So
yes,
I usually throw it palm
it's just
down.
It's just the reason why I'm asking these questions, because when I learned what is a drag motion, that's another thing. Like a lot of put it this way. Let me backtrack a little bit. Normally, when I train, I don't normally train at the gym level. I'm usually hired to train a fighter. Say, like, for instance, Freddie Roach got Manny Pacquiao. So I usually train a fighter that's already pretty much that's in the hierarchy of what he does. So what I do is try to correct or give him a few pointers on what he's not getting in his camp. And usually I'm hired by the trainer or the manager, and I usually stick around for a couple of weeks to help him out and just like an adjustment. So that's how I tend to start off training. Most of the guys are like already champions.
Are you like Don with like John David Jackson or something like that?
I don't know. Like I said, I work with a lot of top guys, and from the legendary Muay Thai and boxing, and I work with a lot of MMA guys. So all I do is I do a lot of fine tuning and adjustment, because those are certain things. Like I said, if you're gonna learn jiu-jitsu, right? You can't go in there and try to rustle your way through. You have to have somebody teaching you in order for you to do it properly. So a lot of boxers tend to end up teaching and training themselves. And what end up happening is, of course, if you win a couple fights, and once a fighter, especially a boxer, is on a winning streak, he feels like, oh, you know what? I could do this by myself. I don't need no trainer. So he assumed that what he has is going to be good enough. But
Wait.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask. So kind of like what happened with Wilder against Fury.
Yeah. You got to understand, Wilder is like he's the big brother, man. He's the man that runs the gym. Who beats up like usually when you go to another gym, you're usually going to find an equal partner, or you're going to find somebody that's just going to give you good work. So who bullies Wilder at a gym? Pretty much nobody. So when he gets up there and he fight a guy who's going to fight him back and who's, can contend with him, and Wilder's a beast. Now, I mean, make that I'm just telling you the truth. The man is a beast, but who beats up the beast? When he now he gets a fight and he fights a guy who's going to fight him, no matter whether the guy is awkward or not, it's going to be a little bit different. when you run the show, because when you got a big guy like that, who trains the big guy? What coach going to say, look, you're going to do it this way, or you're going to have to just leave my gym? No one's going to tell him that. See, a lot of boxers who's so-called king of the mountain in their gym, they tend to run and call the shots. And that's what happens with a lot of trainers. They sit on the back burner and let the fighter does what he wants to do and kind of follow instructions. The way it works is a good manager will hire a trainer, and that trainer trains. That's what he does. A trainer just don't coach, he teaches. It's the difference between a coach and a trainer. And so a lot of people don't get that either. And but a lot of
Let me ask you a question. What would you all right, you got about 6 months to his next fight. What would you like tweak with Wilder? I mean, you couldn't overhaul him. If you was to get him, like, what would you tweak as far as for the Fury situation? Or just in the long haul?
Well, I saw the highlights of the fight. I think Tyson Fury got into his head. I truly think that if I could give him any indications on how to fight Tyson, is to stay focused. Stay on his game plan. Stay to the basics as he can fight. There's no, there's no secret. The man can punch. All you have to do is just stay focused. Keep the game plan nice and simple. Stay on his jab, and this when Wilder does what he does, because Wilder tends to. Tyson Fury tends to drop his hands. And when he drops his hands, he doesn't have the defense like people think he has. Like I said, so I think with Wilder, he tends to load up a little bit. And when you have a guy who can move a little bit, and that's how he got around Wilder, he could see Wilder punch coming, and he got out of the way.
All right.
I'm just saying, yeah, it's a weird kind of fight. You have to really study those guys because those guys study each other. And like I said, I think Wilder went in thinking that he was going to fight the fight. He wants to fight and win. And Tyson Fury, he did his homework.
Another thing, what do you think the biggest thing is missing as far as the fighters today?
I think the fundamentals. Because I think what's happening today is we have a lot of amazing young talent that comes in. And that alone, they tend to do well in the game. But the basics is the basics, how to move. When you work in the bag, keep your hands up. Just little small general stuff like keeping your hands up, snap your punches. Try not to drag motion. What is a drag motion? When you throw a half inch into the body moves like a half inch in or out. That's how you can tell when a punch is coming. But when you learn how to snap your punch on a straight line and pull it back into the holster, and then understanding how to say if you fight a southpaw and you're right-handed, how do you fight a southpaw? How do a real southpaw would fight you? Because I see it all the time. In this new boxing, the first thing the coach do is say, you know what, we got to work your jab. And we know as trainers and boxing fans that if you got a good jab, it's going to help you win fights, correct? But a good jab can also get you in trouble, especially if you don't know, the way a true southpaw will fight you. Because you got southpaws, or good southpaws are throwing great jabs. But, if you have a good trainer that can teach you from the right side, okay, you're going to set him up. Because if he throws that jab hand, he's going to be set up for the right cross, So a right cross, left hook, catch a southpaw every day. A southpaw, he throws a left cross with a left hook, a right hook. He can set up the right hand. Because right hand fighters, it's hard to see a straight left coming if the straight left is coming out of the pocket. And what happens when you have two conventional fighters, they don't throw the cross hand until it's set up. A southpaw throws the straight left as soon as they see the opening. So, but again, you have to train your fighters to be able to fight that way. And it just I see a lot of jab game between a southpaw and a right hand, and they play the jab game. So therefore, I know the training is not anatomically correct. So, but I can see that. I mean, if I'm a southpaw, So if I'm gonna fight a right-hand fighter, the moment you keep playing with your right hand with me, I'm gonna smash you with my left. I'm gonna smash you every time. I'm gonna make you close up so I can get my right hook off, and I'm coming back with a left uppercut. Then I'm gonna space around you, and then in theory, I know that most fighters, especially millennial fighters, they tend to drop the lead. If I step to the right or left, all I gotta do is pay attention to how this other fighter is trying to move with me. Usually, if he tries to step to the side of me, he drops that lead hand. He tries to spin around me, he drops that lead hand every time. So, and I know how to catch him when he does that. Now I'm a southpaw. I'll make him eat that left hand every time, whether it be a left uppercut. I just know. So usually in theory, because I do a lot of boxing theory, I know boxing theory. In order to know boxing theory, you'd have to understand the science of boxing, and then you have to have great basics in order to even go to that point of learning how to talk about boxing. Because if you can talk about boxing and say, hey, this works to that work, you have to understand the science and through this theory. You can't know theory without knowing the science and having good basics. You just can't. I'll explain that to you if you want. I know I rattled off a lot of stuff. Let me slow it down. All right, in theory, right? In theory, they teach you some good fundamentals, and then you have your basic fundamentals that fighters tend to do wrong or they do right. And so, if a self-taught fighter don't know how to fight on the ropes, or when he's moving in and out of position in between his jabs, he tends to allow his punches to float down. And then the inside game, that's what happens when they trade punches. Either left hand is down or the right hand is down, or they like to play half guard, that they call the Philly shell. But it's just in half guard. And a lot of fighters love the half guard because a lot of coaches are not training them how to fight properly in the inside to keep them safe. So they run the half guard. So when you make a fighter move left to right, a lot of times their chin comes up and the lead hand goes down. So if I can force you to change positions, or I can change positions to let you change positions, I know you're going to drop that lead hand. So when you drop that lead hand, there it is. You know an overhand punch is, right? An overhand punch is just a signal call. Like people say, oh yeah, overhand right hand. Well, overhand is just a signal call. That's all it is. Is this your coach is telling you that this guy is right or left hand is floating downward on his hip line, and just letting you know to time it. That's why he says, hey, overhand. The overhand is available. So he drops the left hand, throw your right over the top.
A lot of guys get hit with overhands, no matter if the fighter telegraph it or not. I see a lot of fighters get hit with them punches.
Yes, that's true. And you find it, and they can throw it. Some of those guys that throw some mean overhands. But an overhand, if you can set it up and understand the logic of it, it'll work better for you. Some people just winging and praying. But like I said, I like fighters that throw overhands. Some fighters don't know how to block an overhand or move out the way from overhand. Overhands.
Overhand.
Like Adrien Broner.
He don't know how to. Yeah, he get paralyzed when he see that punch coming.
Oh yeah, well yeah. Some of them guys, man, they throw like Tyson. He comes out with an overhand. And you don't know what to do with that, man. It's gonna be a bad day.
He was shorter. He was fighting a lot of tall guys. They couldn't see some of his overhands coming either. He was high.
No, he was. That's true. I mean, like I said, the overhand could be a devastating punch. I just think the people who throws overhand with lesser skills and don't have the abilities to use the science to setting that overhand up, it don't work as good as they would want it to work. You know what I mean? So you have guys who can get in there and really, really throw an overhand that'll work for them. I throw good overhands, but I don't just throw a loose overhand. I make sure that I'm moving you in a position, and I know when that hand is getting ready to drop. I understand the 3-hand positions where I learned in boxing, the 3-hand position. So once you learn and your trainer is teaching you how the 3-hand position works, it just makes you better on your inside game. So I know that was something probably a little different that you guys don't normally run across. Somebody telling you the 3 hand positions.
Like, what's what's the one southpaw you like the best in boxing right now? I mean, it could be just active, older, newer. I mean,
I like a couple of them though, but for me, I like Sweet Pea. The Sweet Pea can switch right or left, but he's a very crafty southpaw. He can throw a little bit of brawl. he knows how to fight southpaw. He just know. He makes good decisions. He throws you off. He keeps you guessing. You know what I mean? So I like Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Any of the current fighters you like that fight southpaw?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get this right now. Lomachenko was southpaw, right?
Yeah, any southpaw. I mean Usyk.
I like Rigondeaux. I like Rigondeaux. I like Lomachenko. I like Rigondeaux. I like Rigondeaux. As a matter of fact, I had one of my fighters on the same card he was on. And when the first time I saw a Rigondeaux fight in person, I really liked the way he fights. Yeah, I like Rigondeaux.
Best inside fighter right now. I mean, I know that's a lost art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tend to enjoy the craftiness of his unorthodox style. I like Lomachenko's inside game. I guess because I understand it. I like Floyd. As a matter of fact, even though Floyd is not a southpaw, but I like the way Floyd fights his inside game. I understand his logic. The way he fights, because I've seen fighters fight like these guys today in the 70s. So, you know what I mean? And these guys are just babies. So it's yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a nice inside game. He ripped Gary Russell's arm down and got to working on him. Yeah, he
little boxing tricks that I learned and that I seen he's picking up.
Yeah, you ain't got a lot of Mike McCullums around no more.
Right.
A lot of guys scared to go to the body. I mean, I don't know if they don't know how to fight in the inside, or they. But
so how many? We got like 3 people on the line, including me, right?
Yeah, no, just me, Terence, and then our UK guy went out. Battle Rifle might be a little bit busy right now. It sounded like they was eating dinner.
Okay, right on, Battle Rifle. Yeah, okay, I like that name. Okay, check this out. Let's do a little test. Okay, I talked about the 3 hand positions, correct? So when you see boxing, you're going to see a little bit different now. The millennial boxers tend to use the third hand position. Okay, so the third hand position is the hand with the palm facing downward. Okay, so then you have the palm facing inward. Then you have the palm facing toward the jawline. Okay, so what happens here, a lot of fighters are not taught that. So what they do is they go freestyle. So they fight the way they fight. So just so you get a better understand, if you don't mind, while we're on the phone, take your palm like this and look at it. Put your palm right in front of your face and look at your palm.
Are you able to see us on video? Because we on video. I can see you, Coach.
Yeah, we can see him. We can see him.
So you
they can see you, Coach. You can show them.
Okay, so here's the let me see if I get my hand in front of me. So my palm is facing my face. I'm looking right at it. Can you see it?
Yep.
And if you try this with me, now we're going to go, this is position number 1. So what do you feel is your bicep, right? Your bicep is shortened up and it's tight, right? Your bicep. So you're going to loosen your bicep and you're going to turn your hand just like this. Just like this. So you're like here and now you like this. Can you see it?
Yeah, we see it.
So your bicep loosens up, right?
Yeah.
So if you turn your palm like this, your biceps is totally relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when you're looking at fighting, now you can see if you got a guy who's got good counter punches and he's paying attention to this. Well, if a fighter hands like this, he's covered up. So then, every now and then, he'll turn it this way so he can get his punches off. Or he wants some defense, he loosens up his shoulders and his bicep. So what happens when you find a fighter who fights with the palm downward, his hands tend to float down when he throw punch combinations or when he's exhausted. So when you find a fighter who doesn't understand that concept, a good inside fighter will stay in close because he knows his palm is facing down, meaning that his bicep is totally relaxed. So his punches will float down to his hip line. And this is why you see a lot of half guard fight happening. You'll see it. And if he wants to, in this one here, when the hand is this way, like in a bladed position, your thumb is facing you, well, that one gives you light elbows. In other words, when you fighting and throw punches, your elbows will lift up a little bit in between your work. You see, it'll lift up. You have light elbows, and that's how those guys get you to the body. Because if your hands just like this, and you don't know those 3 hand positions, so if your palm is facing out, your hand's going to drop. The bicep, top, back of the shoulder supports your upright position on your hands. So when you throw punches and you turn your punch back and bring it back to the jawline, you have support on your defense. If your hand stays your palms stay toward the floor, your hand's going to drop. They're going to drop every time. So this is another logic that fighters use, especially in the later rounds when your fighter is showing limited basic boxing. They're going to drop their hands. They're going to see it. I'm talking about at a technical level, at least from the experienced professional boxers I work with, I teach them how to see it. And this is how they win their fights. This is how they catch their opponents because they don't realize it. They're lacking abilities to understand how to better protect themselves because of just that mere reason of the hand positions. But it's more than just the hand positions. That's just one of them.
Yeah, I can tell when you turn your head, start reading your body does certain things. Go ahead, Battle Rifle.
Yeah, I also noticed that like sometimes it's kind of obvious why they do it, but a lot of people just abandon putting their hands up anymore. Everybody just
Right.
fight with their hands at the side,
Right.
and that's good. And I learned early because I'm short, so if I'm gonna fight people, they're just gonna headhunt religiously. So I can't
Right.
usually I can't usually afford to fight with my hands down.
Right. Good for you. Well, how tall are you, Battle Rifle?
I'm 5'8".
5'8"?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. And so when you so do you know what makes you taller and what makes you short, right? When you're in your fight position, when you're boxing, moving around, your basic stance. Some people like to have more of a wider stance, and some have more of a narrow stance. Or some people can use both stances.
Basically, yeah.
So if
Yeah,
you're
I tend to
5'8",
stand shorter.
you're 5'8", and you're more in a more perpendicular stance, and you're standing straight up, you feel you have more jab range, correct? Some fighters think if the stance is wider, they have more jab range, but that's not true.
What do you think about the stances? I see a lot of guys that they have wide stances. Some dudes get the narrow stances, and then
Yes.
So I mean, where are you at with as far as the stances?
I mix it up. I usually like a wider stance. When I want somebody to punch down on me because I know how to come up. I have three stances: your long range stance, your medium stance, and your short range. That's body shots, uppercuts, and if you're gonna mix it up. So if you pull back, I like to be more into a more upright stance with my knees slightly bent, so that way I can move a little faster. I got more reach in my punches. If you stand too wide, right, and you want to use that overhand. Once you stand wide, you pull back your right hand or your left hand or your right hand, whatever the backhand is too far back. So if you pull back, the lower you are, the lower you are, of course, the shorter you are to your opponent. Your range is shorter. If the wider your stance, of course your range is short. Your jab is short, and your cross is short.
A lot of guys.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Battle Rifle. My bad. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Battle Rifle. You got it. You got the mic.
I was just saying I tend to stand shorter for the simple fact that I usually like to have both of my weapons working. I don't want to be that person just sitting back and only laying like a couple of right hands. I want to use all my weapons.
Good. Well, yeah, that's good. So you're more basic counter puncher, or you're right in between when you have to be, which is good. I mean, Floyd, for instance, he could be aggressive. He could be a counter puncher. You have some fighters are gifted that way. They can mix it up, or they can just read you, let you get off a little bit. That's what Floyd does. Floyd plays the little half guard game, what they call Philly shell. What he does is watch how you box. You drop your lead hand, he sees that. You open, you have no angles, your chin is up, he can see all of that. And then when he needs to raise his guards up, he fights full guard. And he fights very good full guard, as well as he does, with the half guard.
So what do you think about we got a couple questions for you. One guy he asked, I'm trying to get this question. He said, who he got Loma Rigo, both wonder who he will pick. I think he meant Anuiwa, so excuse me. I don't know do you know who Anuiwa is?
You know what? I heard of his name, and I don't listen a lot to
that's the Asian guy that you showed me. This little small Asian
I didn't
guy.
know my name. He's really good. And he's gonna fight maybe Lormanchenko. You said?
No, you said Rigondeaux.
Rigondeaux.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That is a good one. They both kind of box the same, except this Asian kid
He's
He's
faster.
bringing, he's faster. He's bringing a lot more technique to the table. But then again, Rigondeaux, man, he's smart. He knows how to settle back. And wow, that's a good fight, guys.
It is. He's a good counterpuncher.
That's a
Oh
good
man,
fight. Him and Donaire was a good fight. I like that fight. That's both
I-
my favorite fighters.
yeah. I think in that case, I think I'd have to. Wow, that's crazy. I'd have to. I'd have to go to. I have to go for Rigondeaux.
Bringing down.
I think so.
They was asking, what do you think about Terence Crawford style?
I like Terence Crawford. He's very what's the word, conventional, but he's not just a conventional. He's really good. He's sharp. He knows how to pick his shots. He's just solid. He's a solid boxer. I just like the way he's not one of those kind of fighters where you just want to kick down the door and run down and see him fight, because he's not that kind of real slick and suave kind of fighter. He gets the job done, and he knows how to box. I can appreciate that.
Okay.
What do you think about switching stances? Is it really necessary?
Well, no, but then if you know how to do it, like I said, when you switch stance, like I said, there is an art that goes along with fighting southpaw, and there is a guy who can just switch because he can. So you have a lot of natural ability guys who come from a martial art background who tends to like to switch stance. And some people can switch stance, but they don't really know how to fight. In theory, they don't know how to fight proper that way, but they just do.
What do you think about kind of the Miguel Cotto thing, where his uncle had him with his strong hand, his strong hand as his lead hand? What do you think about that? He was conventional orthodox fighter, but they wanted him to keep his lead hand, his right hand in front.
Yeah.
What do you think about that train of thought?
I guess they figured because Gregor, right? Gregor McCarter, was that it?
Oh,
No,
Conor McGregor.
Who?
Miguel Cotto did that.
Oh, I'm saying Miguel Cotto. Oh man, did I see that fight?
No, when Cotto, him in general.
You're talking about how
He's a natural right-handed fighter, but they had him fighting his career as a southpaw.
Oh, yeah.
Hand was
I got you.
You think he's a natural left-hander.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, so he's strong on the lead hand.
Yeah.
So basically, okay,
yeah,
I understand. I had Luisito Espinosa was like that. He was a powerful left-hand guy, but he fought right-handed. So he over-punched a lot with his left hand because he was actually left-handed. Yeah, but yeah, that could work if you if he learns how to use it properly and not over punch with that lead, because the lead hand can get you in trouble. If you miss the lead punch and you're putting all your money on that lead punch, you tend to drop that punch. As you swing and drop, and you can get caught with overhand right hand. So that's how you catch the left hook. So he comes with a powerful left hook. He misses the opponent. His hand slightly dropped down because he's over punching a little bit. You slide back a little bit, come over the top with a right hand left hook, open every time for it. But I think it's good. I mean, if he can fight and control the power in the left hand, and the left hand sets up everything on the right, yeah, that could be a good asset.
Battle Rap, you still there? Anything he going in and out. AT, anything you want to ask your coach, man?
Oh, I mean, if y'all have more questions y'all want to know, like,
oh yeah, you the only one ain't said nothing.
Oh, I'm just listening. Me and him talk all the time, so we talk every day. I'm just letting y'all, if y'all had any questions on like, combinations, breathing, MMA, boxing,
yeah,
the two clash each other.
What do you think of?
Go ahead, Battle.
What do you think about like fighter trainer relationships? Is there like a certain way you think it should work?
Yes, that's important. That's very important. Fighter trainer relationship, first of all, based upon trust. If a fighter trusts his trainer and his trainer has good information and believable, I think that's what's going on today. Is some trainers, you don't have to be a great trainer, but if your work is believable, then your fighter can learn it and then use it. You can have the best work in the world, but if that trainer is not believable, then of course the fighter is not going to trust that. And in another sense, you want a trainer that's going to properly get you prepared and run in charge and be in charge of his training and show you the compassion that he's there not only to help you win, but to protect you. And that's what a trainer's job is. Now that's your coach. Now you got a trainer. A trainer's going to teach you how to box properly. A coach in professional boxing, they don't use coach often. They only use trainer. And the reason why coach is used when you have a coach that's working a bunch of kids, and they'll say, well, who's your coach? You walk around, who's your coach? A trainer, one fighter, one trainer. Coach can have about can have a team of fighters. But when you in a professional arena, and if you fought professional, usually the commissioners identify your coach as your trainer. And your trainer's job is to teach you the ins and outs of that ring, how to fight off the ropes, the whole thing, the rules. And he's there to protect you also. He's not there just to get you, just to go in there and try to get you a win. If you can't win and that fight is not happening in your favor and you're getting hurt, his job is to make the call. Can I tell you this so that you can understand where I'm coming from? Is say, for instance, if you was my fighter, and I saw that you was getting hurt real bad, and I get you in that corner, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have our little talk. And if I'm thinking you go back in there and get hurt, I'm gonna stop the fight. I'm not gonna let you get hurt. I will call the fight. Some fighters don't get it, to get in there. If I don't stop the fight, right, and the referee ain't stopping the fight because he ain't looking after you, all you want to see some blood, and the commissioner gets in there, and if they don't stop the fight and you get hurt, severely hurt, they're going to turn around, the fans going to turn around and say, Coach, if the referee ain't stopped the fight and we're not getting involved in a fight, and I let it go like that, that just tells me that I don't know what I'm doing or I'm not in your best of interest. So a trainer's got to know his job before he can start being a coach or a trainer. He's got to know his job. His job is not there just to get you prepared, but to protect you.
Cool. Even if the fighter tell you beforehand, no, don't stop it regardless. As his trainer, you still obligated to stop the fight, right? If you feel he in danger.
If my fighter tells me not to stop the fight, and he's in a position to losing his eye, or I know
that happened with Edgar.
Yeah, and I know he's in that position that one shot is going to end his career, I'm going to stop the fight. So if he doesn't like that, I'd rather him blame that on me, and I'll say, look, I was out protecting you. So he wants to go to another coach, another gym. I don't never give people bad luck. I always bless them and say, hey, well, you just go in best wishes for you. Like I said, I usually talk open, and I don't want to go in and think, oh, I know everything, because no one knows everything. But I know what I'm doing, and I know what I see. And I know if my fighter is severely hurt, I'm going to stop the fight. If that coach, if that referee is not stopping the fight, I had a girl fighting Holly Holmes, and it was a great title fight, and we were like behind the scorecard, but my girl came back saying she couldn't see out of one eye, but she says, I'll be okay. Let me go back in. I let her back in. She came back in the 8th round. She said, you know what? Now I can't see out of either one of my eyes. Of course, I stopped the fight. She's not going back in there like that. So, those are situations that can easily happen inside of a boxing ring. Yeah. But
you don't want to end up like this.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm in there to protect my fighter of all costs. But the first thing is we're in there to win too. So, but if, like I said, if it's like my fighter is if I see the referee is allowing that guy to make bad calls, I'm gonna call him on that. I'm gonna talk to the commissioner. Hey, this referee is allowing bad calls. When he comes back in the corner, talk to him. But like I said, there's a lot of coaches that want to be coaches, but they don't know how to be trainers in the professional arena.
Cool. I mean, how do you see the whole trainer and coach things going? And there's a lot of guys that just go to the gym, watch tape, or read a book and be a coach. I mean, shouldn't they have a teacher? Like, real talk. I mean, Joe Kawasaki daddy read a book. That's how he trained his son.
You're right. And sometimes they get lucky. And you get a talented young fighter that can box. But at the end of the day, he's going to find out whether or not that coach can do anything. Hey, Tyson Fury just said, "Hey, my first trainer, I think he said, was my dad, and he don't know nothing about boxing, but he made it to a point." Then his uncle comes in and was teaching kids, didn't know much about boxing. So now he says, "Hey, you know what? Now the world's looking at me. I'm somebody. I need to get a real trainer." You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've seen that. A lot of times you get coaches in these in a gym. I'm sorry, you have a lot of amateur kids because coaches like to start with kids. Thank goodness I didn't start that way. But coaches like to start with kids, and you can ask me why. Why do coaches like to start with kids?
Why?
Kids are innocent. You don't have to know nothing to coach a kid. Kid's gonna follow you to a T and stay loyal to you until they can't. So this is why a lot of these old coaches start with these kids. And I've seen a lot of these guys that out there now was in the amateur game would not even thought they would become a pro. But I used to tell my friends out there and say, what happens when your kid get older and he wants to continue fighting pro? So once these so-called kid trainers become a professional trainer, you don't see him playing with the kids anymore. He's got himself a professional. And then you find a lot of guys who don't train very well. They like to train females. That's the next thing to a lot of these coaches. I'm just putting it out there, because you get these world champion guys that comes in, male fighters. They talk about the coaches right away. They put them on a pedestal. They're the coach, don't even have to know anything, but they put them on a pedestal. You get females who can really, really box and do well in the game, but they never talk about the coaches. That female disappeared, the coach disappeared.
So, I mean, what do you think about the loss of the internship? You had Freddie working on under Eddie Fudge. You had John David Jackson working under Don Turner. I mean, you had Teddy Atlas and Rooney working under Customato. You don't really see that anymore.
No. I met those guys. I met them. I used to fight in opposite corners from them. So I know them, and they very well respected. Teddy Atlas, man, he knows what he sees. He knows the boxing theory. He got it down to a T. But yeah, I know those guys. I remember one of my fighters for when Luis Tito fought Zahim Rahim, and they was watching me warm him up, and so I was going over some pointers with Louis, and a month later, I seen him do a show, and he was going over one of my pointers, and I was like, oh, okay, and that was Ted Atlas.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and not just that. Just to make a long story short, I ain't gonna say no names because then because I know it's gonna get out like that. I remember I was working with Louis on a shake and bake. We have this internal technique. We have a shake and bake. And this one coach was kind of looking at it, and then all of a sudden, couple months later, I'm in LA. They had a big fight, and I don't want to say the name, but the name of the person, everybody would know him. You'd know him when I tell his name. But he says, "Hey, I got this new coach. I'm learning a whole bunch. I don't know much about this shaking and baking, but I'm gonna get it." He right there on national TV, and I know this guy hired him just because he needed to up his boxing because he was moving up, in the ranks. And but his trainer watched me work a shake and bake technique with one of my guys, and sure enough, on national TV, his fighter is saying, "Hey, I don't know too much about the shaking and baking, but I'm sure I'll get it."
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, because isn't it like fighters just trying to adapt like the Rice technique with like Virgil Hill from Andre Ward?
Yeah,
or maybe they was doing that before. But.
Yeah. I think I heard now. I don't want to, because Andre, I like Andre Ward, So I noticed that Andre can actually fight, left or right, and really good at it. I think, I'm not sure. I could be wrong. He may be a natural southpaw, but he can definitely fight southpaw if he had to. I've seen him in training a few times do that, and he can do it. Yeah, I like Andre Ward.
Yeah, he got in and got out, and it don't seem like he coming back. He's enjoying his retirement life. I'm not mad at him.
Nah,
they all end up coming back, except for Marciano. He had the car accident. But
oh yeah, that's a sad. Yeah,
he was gonna come back though. But hey, anything else y'all you want to say, man? I know you got Precious Sunday, man, left. Anything else you want to say, man, on the way out?
All right. Y'all want to know? I mean, is there anybody y'all think that can possibly beat Clarissa Shields or Canelo?
Come on, in boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, the weight. I'm gonna say this: the weight might defeat her first.
Yeah.
Shit. She
Yeah.
up the street from me. She live in Flint. I'm in Detroit. Yes, the weight. If anything, I think she's similar to Crawford. They own worst enemy. They so competitive.
Yes.
The weight is gonna hurt her in the long run. No matter who he is, that's gonna drain your bodily fluids from the brain. As far as Canelo, he untouchable, bro. I mean, just everything with him.
Yes.
He untouchable.
Yeah, I think it's Canelo's time. This is his time. So yeah, I think Canelo is pretty much is leading the ranks right now. Yeah.
Probably, but Carissa, she keep playing with the weight, man. I'm telling her right now, she can get away with it, but in the long term, that's gonna affect a lot of these fighters that's draining their bodies to make these weights. In long term, they're gonna have tomatoes for heads, man.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I seen Carissa fight a few times. She, she's a little bulldog. She's getting there and she scrapped pretty well. She tends to she likes to fight her game. I mean, it seems like she does what she wants to do. She does it well, but I think you get a good solid fighter who can get in there and catch her. She'll break, because I've seen her in one of the fights that she did, and she got caught and got knocked down one time. She was surprised.
Yeah, she fought a little bit jackrabbitish, you know what I'm saying? But then when she if she slow down a bit, she I mean, but for her it's not the talent is not that plentiful in women's boxing.
Right. That's true.
So at the same time, I don't like, it's always gonna be somebody come out of nowhere and be your Mayweather Pacquiao. It's always gonna be that person. So we have to see what her. Anything else you want to ask me before we let him go? You asked a good question.
Oh, I'm straight, man. He can battle rap. Yeah, I'm rapping.
I could save it for another time just because I know.
Go ahead, battle rap.
I mean, I have lots of questions. I'll be here all night. But I guess
go ahead, man. Start rocking them off.
I mean, is there anywhere I can find you? You can contact you. Maybe we can, have another boxing talk.
Yeah, of course. That would be awesome. I'd love to. Are you in contact with Terence?
Yeah, I can facilitate.
It's my first time.
I'll send to your email, bro.
Please do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we would like to have you a lot more, man.
Yeah, I would love that. You can always you can look me up. Like I said, I had a chance to work with a lot of very, very skilled fighters. That comes from the era of we just got his name now, Adrien Ward. The late James Bugs, Coffee out here in the Bay Area. That is the good boxer. I've had quite a few tough fighters who came out the same time when Adrien Ward was training. And, not necessarily in the same camp, but they had a kinship of training together and sparring. But But yeah, I would love to talk more with you.
Oh yeah, we got to set that up more, man. Give you a platform. You got a lot of knowledge. I see a lot of the trainers behind the scenes, man. They got more knowledge than some of the other guys I used to talk to back in the day. So they kind of like guys that behind the scene. Like I was telling T about my boy Eric Bradley. He another guy that stayed behind the scenes and
nice.
He don't really get the credit, that a lot of these dudes build these fighters up, and then like you said, they get with these other trainers, and then the other trainers get all the credit for the fighter. So I see that happen a lot.
That's right, a lot. It happens a lot, and like I said, they don't stick with the basic, the basic rule book. Hey, let's like anything you do, a basic foundation to anything you do is going to help your career. It's going to help your career. Like I said, a lot of times these young fighters want to do it by themselves, and they like a certain style, and that's the way they want to fight. And the moment you adjust them properly, they feel you're taking something away from them.
So before I let you go, I'm gonna ask you this last question: do the manager have, or the promoter, or the manager have a lot of influence on what the fighter decision is, as far as coaches and where to train at and stuff of that nature?
Well, that would be the manager. But the promoter, it depends. If a promoter hires you, well, he can't. Well, here's the thing: a promoter won't hire a fighter. A promoter going to hire the manager as the team. So promoters won't take a fighter without a manager. So now, because it just for that's an investment. So it's just to protect his investment. So that's why you have to have a assigned trainer, a assigned manager, a trainer, and a promotion if they're going to sign you all together. So yeah, so the manager has influence. The only thing the coach can do is tell the manager, say, you know what, I don't think that's a good fight. I don't think we're ready for that fight. So that's if you got a real coach. But some coaches are not real coaches. So when the promoter says we're going to fight this guy, and the manager going to go, okay, we'll do it. So then it goes to me and says, okay, we need to get this guy ready for this guy. And I'm saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not a good fight. So the coaches does have a little say so, and usually if they respect the coach, they won't set up a fight like that. But I've seen cases where the promotion wants to set up a fight. I've seen the promotion has two fighters. They sign both fighters, but they want both fights to fight, and knowing that they finna get rid of one fighter, so that's how they do it. They fight him out. I've seen it. I had that. Yeah, I had to have to one of my fighters. with I bet I don't want to say no names, but with this promotion. Yeah. But they cut throat in a minute, brother. So if the promotion wants a fight to happen, and if it's matched through the manager, because the manager have to make sure that everything goes accordingly, the payment, everything, then he tells the fighters, hey, this is what we're going to do. And we have a little what they call a powwow, a little team meeting, and then we all get together. And then once it's a yes, then my job is, okay, I'm the trainer. My job is to teach this guy and get him prepared. The manager's job is already done. He got the fight. He set it all up. And he just set aside and let it all happen. And everything is on the trainer at that point. Right. That's it. So yeah, the promotions have a little bit of say so. But it's all the management. The management, he's the one that sets it up, makes the call, and then we sign the forms and we do our job.
All right, that make a little bit more insight. We kind of can see how it kind of operate. Battle Rap, you got anything to say before I let him go?
Really glad I met you two guys my first time. Meeting you guys, Terence, Vincent, and D.
Oh yeah.
You guys
Thank
really,
you. Likewise, man.
And I like talking about the specifics and like boxing training and styles and whatnot. And we literally talk about it like all day on other friends' channel.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a big thing. Yeah. And go ahead.
Oh, no.
You want to say something?
No, I'm good. I'm listening to you, brother. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass to Terence, Battle Rifle. I'm about to do that right now. Go ahead.
What's that?
You got an Instagram Battle
I
Rifle?
Do. Oh.
Yeah, I got an Instagram. You want me to hold up.
I sent you his email and stuff. Maybe you can send it through there. You can just email him back.
All right. Yeah, you can give him my Instagram.
Yeah, matter of fact, I sent you his email and I sent you his Instagram. So you got his email. I'm gonna tell you your Instagram comment link, your link. So that'll y'all can link that. Yeah, that down. So that'll happen, man. So yeah, we'd love to get your insight a lot more, man. D man. So I'm gonna set some stuff up with Terence in the future when I get some time. And we need more teachers, man. And when it comes to this YouTube stuff, it's more the confetti. It's not really it's not a lot of teaching going on. It's all about the millennial stuff about boxing. So I think I'm all about educating the viewers and stuff like that nature.
Yeah. So I can tell you this. So like the millennials, they takes the millennials are amazing. Those are the ones who comes out and say, hey, look, I can kick this thing 8 times and kick it. Like in the back of my time, we kicked something 3 times in the air. hey, that's it. But the millennials, they tend to break the rule of nature sometime, and then you got to appreciate it. And in boxing, they tend to do a lot of things that we would normally not do. But if I think if they get the good trainers to come out there, when you got a good millennial fighter that's willing to learn and have a good basic foundation, then we're in for something real special. And I'm waiting to see that. I'm hoping to see that. Yeah.
I think we all are, man. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming on. I'm about to eat me some dinner. Appreciate it, T. I sent y'all T and Battle Rifle. I sent y'all information.
All right, good looking.
More stuff up with you, D, man. I appreciate the
All right.
love from everybody that came in. Everybody stay blessed.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You
it.
too.
Yep.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bro.